Well, let's now turn to the advisory. Australia's retirement system is entering a new phase with more people moving from accumulation into retirement. This means advice conversations are shifting towards income sustainability and not just portfolio performance. Joining us now is Felipe Araujo, who's Generation Life Chief Executive. Felipe, good to catch up with you again. So, interesting that...
Andrew, same here. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon to you. The retirement age has actually lifted, but I gather the latest data shows that many are retiring below that threshold, below the mid-60s, and at the same time we're living longer. So what sort of pressure is that putting on retirement savings?
It's putting a significant amount of pressure, Andrew, and this is a very exciting opportunity for providers like Generation Life to completely reinvent what has been previously available for financial advisors. The reality is, as you've highlighted, is that Australians are living retirement longer than ever before, and solutions that have done their job for previous generations may not be fit for generations of the future. We've seen that as a huge opportunity for particular advisors to play a part in the restructuring of those assets. I'm sure we'll go into it, but your audience will no doubt resonate with your audience the fact that you now have got structures like the one that Generation Life is so incredibly to provide the market that enable them to have a lifetime annuity with capital market exposure. Now, what that does, Andrew, and again, we'll talk about it today, but that enables Australians to live the retirement life that they ought to have, and they've worked so hard to build their asset base. Now it's time to enjoy it.
Yeah, but of course, now when you reach that stage, it's all about that income that you're living off. And to your point, you're saying perhaps those account-based pensions are not necessarily going to cut it.
No, that's exactly right. And we've been very vocal in the industry to ensure that more Australians and more financial advisors, for that matter, are across the notion that the structures which are available for any Australian in retirement are formed by an account-based pension, non-superannuation assets, a lifetime annuity, which is the form of longevity protection, as well as for those who are able to qualify some social security benefits. It's one of the great attractiveness of lifetime annuities in Australia, one of the great hooks for annuitization of capital, in that Centrelink actually reduces the value of the capital that is used to purchase a lifetime annuity and enables Australians to gain a greater access to Social Security. So you've highlighted, right? Account-based pensions are no longer able to maintain the lifestyle that an Australian wants to have in retirement. Look, balances are growing, but the reality is more Australians need to be acutely aware around the interdependencies of the structures which are available for them and recognize that retirement is not a point-in-time financial decision. It evolves in retirement as circumstances change. Now, the reality of an account-based pension is that it may work incredibly well, but what happens upon the passing of a member of a couple, for example, in retirement? How can the structures adapt? How can an advisor formulate a structure that not only caters for the now, but the evolving needs of their clients well and truly into the future?
Okay, so how do you do that then from your point of view, your advice there, in terms of structuring that retirement income to be both flexible and also get that market exposure?
What is really important for Australians to recognise, particularly as we now have got this demographic shift of Australians living in retirement for 20, 30 years, is to have flexibility. Our solution that we brought to market back in 2022 is a lifetime annuity, one that guarantees that you are going to receive an income for as long as you live and or for the life of your chosen beneficiary. And we like to innovate things, Andrew, as you no doubt recall from Generation Life. We have innovated the space now that a reversionary beneficiary no longer has to be a sixth dependent in accordance to the Sixth Act. It can also be, for example, a child. How wonderful it is to receive an income for as long as you're alive, and then it reverts back to your child. But one that has got the flexibility for you to make the most of when opportunities present themselves or to adapt according to your risk profile. And recognize that in retirement, the pillars should be working very hard for you to create a stable and sustainable income for as long as you live. I think, unfortunately, there's still, a view in Australia that we work towards a capital base. Andrew, I hear time and time again that, clients are working towards $1 million in their account-based pension, but very few Australians understand what does that represent in annual income. And how certain are they to live the lifestyle that they ought to have without the fear of running out of their income, without savings? There's more Australians entering retirement than ever before. There's 2.5 million Australians entering retirement over the next decade. That's huge. We've never had that before in Australia. And what we're seeing firsthand at Generation Life, and thanks to everyone that has supported us along the way, is a shift towards a more conscious decision towards the choosing a lifetime annuity to ensure that you can build a plan that accommodates for that level of flexibility that's required.
Felipe, I'm interested to get your point of view too. There's been a lot of media commentary recently that if you don't own a home when you retire, you're at a significant disadvantage. Do you agree with that? And if you are in that situation, what sort of strategies can you employ?
I think those comments come particularly on the back of our social security system being means tested and one that ignores the value of the house, right? So, Andrew, you're absolutely correct that you may have a retiree at this point in time receiving social security benefits irrespective of the value of the house. If the house is worth $1, $2, $3, $5 million, it's excluded towards that means tested. Therefore, there is a view in Australia that obviously means you're in a better financial position if you do own your home. But important to recognize that the thresholds do vary between a homeowner and a not homeowner. Our solutions at Generation Life caters for both homeowners and non-homeowners. What we're able to offer is a solution that not only provides that guarantee and that peace of mind that you're always going to have an income for life, the investment menu that caters for changing circumstances, as well as that capital exposure that gives you a greater cumulative income, but a solution that, due to the favorable look by Centrelink on lifetime annuities, reduces the value of those assets. So let's just say, Andrew, if you allow me here, you're a couple with combined assets of circa $1 million. If you place 200,000 into a lifetime annuity, so what Centrelink does is that they don't not look at that dollar for dollar. They apply a discount of 40%, so that 200,000 is now $120,000, right? Per 100,000, Andrew, there is an increase of 3% on your age pension payments, right? And that is on top of a provider like Generation Life would provide you in terms of annual income from that first year. So it's a very attractive proposition for those particularly around that cusp of qualifying for the age pension or to maximizing the benefits that they can receive out of age pension. But I should say, right, and this is linked to your point earlier, Felipe, is the system skewed towards those that own their home or not own their home. The reality of Social Security benefits in Australia is that it's a very generous system to ensure that we build a floor and to ensure that every Australian has got more than enough income to maintain a minimum level of standards. That is obviously on a general view of the population, not on an individual basis, and not segmenting, not differentiating per suburb. What we find with our solution is that not only does it cater for those that are maximizing their Social Security, but also those that, because they've been in a very lucky position that they're self-funded and may not never qualify for Social Security benefits, but they've got the peace of mind that a structure that has now evolved significantly thanks to Generation Life can guarantee that they're going to have an income for as long as they live.